Hey, everybody, welcome. I'm so happy that you decided to give me a little Friday evening. Not too shabby. It's around 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And that it's important that I have this conversation with those of you who care. I know some of you don't, but you're probably not watching, right? So the people I'm talking to, obviously this matters to you, you care, or you wouldn't be watching, and I get it. This coming year, 2022, is, in my view, and I think many of you would agree with me, you probably would agree with me, is a very important year for our country, very important year for our culture, to see if we can make some actual impact. You can see it. I see it. There are so many people at odds and no real answers except more punishment and more of the same. That's what I see again and again and again. You know it. I know it. This time, 2022, I think, can be different. It can be better. Far, far better. And far better for several reasons. One, people are more open. People are more open to hearing anything because they've been so distraught. But if we could get somebody to make a real superpowered run in 2022 with a big state, with a lot of impact, we can make real change and maybe even have a victory. Yes, I'm talking about the governor's race in New York State. Of course, I'm talking about that. Many of you, if you're watching now, maybe you were with me in 2018. Many of you were. 2017, we started running in 2017. In 2017 and 2018, some of you were with me, literally in the same car, at the same event, at the same, sine wave. You were actually with me, and some of you were with me at many of these events, and you watched what we did. And to be forward, we struggled. We made a lot of mistakes. We did things that we probably shouldn't have done. We had some naivete and just some lack of skill set. I think that was true. We also had the establishment completely against us, if you remember, totally against us in every way, shape, and form. I think if we run next year, starting this year, things will be different. Why? Because I'm magically different? No, that's not what I'm saying. But if you look at what's happening in New York State, for those of you who live in New York State, you know it. For those of you who don't, you probably could feel it, at least, I would assume. There's no push to change from anybody except me. I'm the only person who's been out there for the past now 4 years, since 2017, 4 years, crossing this state, talking about the things that matter, trying to make change in this state. And I'm more popular than I've ever been. So if I were to run next year, starting this year, I have a massive advantage in that. Far more people know who I am now than knew who I was back then. But the ideas are now known and understood and actually better. For those of you who don't know, New York State is in big trouble. $210 billion, $212 billion in our budget. Only 20 countries, and California is bigger than us. Yet no one has a plan to fix that. Our current terrible government doesn't have a plan to fix it. Our last one did, and none of the Republican candidates have any plan to fix it. They don't. They just have, I'm going to change things, that stuff. But I actually do. Those of you who watched me and seen me these last couple of years, you know that what I always do is create a policy team. And for those of you who are on my policy team, we're getting the band back together. So you have a heads up that you'll be getting an email or a call soon because we're getting the band back together. Yeah, we are. Going back on the road, getting the band back together because we need more policies than ever. We need more help than ever. And I'm going to share one with you right now, which I think if you're in any state, you'll like it, but New York State specifically. And that is the idea of creating a special coin, either gold-based or cryptocurrency-based, to pay for education. I'm not joking. Yes, creating a coin, either a localized currency, which, by the way, if it's only within your state, is legal. A little challenging in New York State, but can be done. Imagine that we all of a sudden decided to just pay for education through either a cryptocurrency, a New York State cryptocurrency, perhaps tied to the dollar or not. I'm not sure how that works yet. My policy team will be creating that, deciding what makes sense for that. And then all of a sudden now we're able to pay for education directly from Albany into every district by student, which would mean by default, the money follows the student. That would change. By default, we could get rid of all the federal funds, which all the strings attached. By default, we get rid of all standardized testing until high school, which will only be state level, wouldn't be national level anymore, not required anymore. By default, we have more freedom to our local school districts. And here's the best part. If you pay with it directly from the state, which you have to according to our Constitution, New York State Constitution, you have to pay for it. It has to come, the state has to pay for it. So you have to. So great, we do that. Well, what about your property tax? For most of you, at least half of your property tax is school tax. No need for school tax. Imagine cutting property tax in half. The second we do that, or even think we're doing that, less people will leave our glorious state. 2 million have left in the last 11 years. They won't leave anymore. They'll stay. Not only will they stay, retirees will stop leaving because property tax is one of the biggest issues. They'll stop packing up and going to Florida as fast as they possibly can. Some of them will stay too. We'll actually have some of the pensions that we're paying for be spent in New York State. We're paying for people's pensions and they aren't spending it in our state. If you earned your pension in New York State, I would like you to spend it in New York State. That'd be awesome, right? Put it back into the economy. But we have such a bad state that people are leaving. I don't want that. That's one thing that I just talked about right now. Do you like those types of ideas? Good. I do too. Do you want others talking about that? Me too. That's why right now I'm announcing that I now have an official exploratory committee to run for governor of New York. This is my committee right now that I'm seeing. Does it make sense for me to do this? You might say, Larry, wait a minute. You just told me you have all these great ideas. I do. I've had them for years and I have more of them and we'll have more of them when I get the band back together. We'll have even more of them. So why is it exploratory? Because whether you like it, I like it, or anyone likes it, this is about money. It is. It's about lots of cash. And I'm going to start doing heavy fundraising coming up here next week or two, but also tonight. Yes, it's about money. Ideas are wonderful. I love them. They're awesome. But if they don't get in the press, nobody hears them. And you see how I get shadow banned on social media all the time. So how do I get around that? Well, money. Money. Well, Larry, the press will cover you because you're super cool. I am super cool. That's true. But the press isn't going to cover me because of that. The press covers me for one reason. I buy ads. Yes, it's pay to play. I learned that lesson the hard way in 2018. I'm running a great campaign. People will cover me, right? No, they won't. They will cover me if I buy ads. So I need cash so I can buy ads so they can cover me, so people can see these ideas, so they can vote for us and we have a chance of real impact and maybe even a win. That's what I'm trying to achieve. Do you want to do that? You want to help me out? Awesome. Donate. LarrySharp.com/donate and give what you can give. Well, Larry, you want me to give you money? I want you to give me money. Yes, lots of it. Yes, that's correct. I'm not playing games. Yes. If you care about these things and you want it to happen, it costs money. Yes. And know what I'll be doing? I won't be working for a year. That's what I'll be doing. I won't be working for a year. And when I actually am moving forward, thanks to you and other people can be helping me out. And when they come at me and my family, which they will, I'll be taking all those slings and arrows too. I took some last time, not as bad, a couple bad ones. It'll be worse this time because they'll hate me even more this time. I'll take those. I'll travel. Tomorrow, for those you don't know, I'll be taking off and doing a 4-day tour of New York State. 12 stops. Yes, I'll be leaving my family and doing 4 days along New York State. If you want to see what that is, you can my Facebook page, Larry Sharp Facebook page, go to events and you will see it right there, or LarrySharp.com/events. You'll see my schedule right there. I'll be in 12 different counties. Yes, I'm covering all 62 counties again this year. This will be my 4th time doing it. My 4th full Sharp. 4 times in a row every year crossing this state. Why? Because I care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't do it. If I didn't want to do this, why would I be doing it? So do me a favor, like, comment, share, all those things, right? You know what I always ask you to do. And of course, donate. It does matter. Click that link and give what you can give. And you might say, Larry, I can't give much. Okay, maybe you can't. No worries. I'm okay with that. Do it monthly. If you can't throw me 500, 600 bucks, you don't have that kind of cash, it's all right. Some of you don't. I got it. Can you throw me 100 bucks a month? 50 bucks a month. I'm asking you for 1 year of support. That's what I'm asking you for. This will take a year out of my life and out of some of yours too, because you'll be joining me. So take a year out of our life to do this. 1 year out of our life to do this, to make more impact than we've ever made. Can you do that? Can you throw some money my way tonight? Do it. Yes. Rarely do I ask hard for money like this. I'm asking hard for it now, and I'm asking you to dig down deep. I am, because I'm about to sacrifice myself and my family. So I'm asking for you. You know my theory. I don't point my finger at you until I point it at me. Well, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Your turn. Your turn now. Saying, Larry, all right, I get it. But if I do this and I throw you some cash, is it going to be worth it? I would ask you, has it been worth it in the past? Have you seen what I've done in the past? I think you have. I think you have. But now I have an even crazier idea. Some of you don't know this. Some of you know this already. In New York State, we have a thing called fusion voting. Fusion voting. That means that you can actually be listed on more than one line. You can be listed on our line, the other line. You can be listed on 3, 4, 5 different lines. You can be listed on multiple lines if you want to. That's awesome. I've decided I'm going to go for that now. They might say, well, Larry, what about libertarians? I'm a registered libertarian. That's who I am. I'm never not going to be that. I am a registered libertarian, and I will always be one. And I will always be open on that. That's who I am. And I'm going to have the libertarian line, right? I'm going to have to squeeze my party to give me that line. So I'm going to get the libertarian line. So I will be listed on the libertarian line no matter what. The question is, will I be listed on other lines? Larry, why would you do that? There are many reasons why. The first one is, some of you saw last time, I broke through that wall and they covered the hole back up like that. Within 1 year, New York State said, oh, Larry's making impact, trashed that, and trashed everything. They closed the wall back up. They took my line away. I'm taking theirs. I'm taking theirs. You took my line, I'm taking your line. But more important, they're not going to cover me again unless I raise tons of money. So donate, please, so I can. Unless I run in a primary. What if I decided to run a Republican primary? Here's the funny part. I might actually win the damn thing. I have more name recognition than any Republican in this state. So I might actually win the damn thing. But say I don't win the damn thing. Say I lose it. Okay, great. I'm still more popular. I have tons of Republicans who know who I am. More votes. Life is good. We're still going to be doing well. But what if I win it? What if I actually win the Republican primary? I'd be listed 3 times on the ballot. Remember how hard the ballot was last time? Remember that? Remember how terrible the ballot was and how horrible it was and how it screwed me over on so many votes? Well, imagine now if I'm listed 3 times. Yeah, Republican, Libertarian, Conservative, and maybe even listed under Reform or Independent or maybe even more. What if I was listed on 3 and 4 or 5 different times? My name 3 or 4 different times. Imagine the impact we have. We'd have an actual chance of victory. We could actually win. Imagine if I actually won. Last time I talked about what if I came in second? What if I came in third? What would happen? Imagine if I won. It will change the entire nation overnight. That's no exaggeration. That's real. Overnight. The Libertarian wins New York State. New York State's no longer run by a Cuomo or a Cuomo light person. Imagine that. If I win the Republican primary, imagine how much money comes in. Literally millions. Yes, literally millions. Now we make impact. Now we make impact. Why? Because it isn't only about press. It is about press, but not only. It's also about polling. Yeah, people want to see and hear you in the polls. They want to do that. Absolutely. They want to see it. Well, how can I get in the polls? Well, number one, if I run in Republican primary, there'll be Republican primary polls. Number one. But number two, if we raise enough money, we can buy the polls. Yeah, I know that, Larry, that sounds crooked. Yes, because it is. That's the system. The system is you want to be in the poll, you buy the poll. Yes, I'm not joking. That's how it actually works. So you have to buy the poll. And you might say, you know what? How much does a poll cost? $50,000. I'm not playing. That's what it cost. Why am I bugging you right now to donate? I need a year of support from you. I need a year of support from you. If you've got big dollars, do $500 a month because you got the big bucks. I hope you do. I hope you all have that kind of money you can spare. That's amazing. Throw me $500 every month. Yes, for the next 12 months, so we can actually win this damn thing by November. But if you don't have it, no worries. You got $100 a month? 50? 25? Whatever you got. In fact, it's 2022, $22 a month. Whatever. Making that happen is going to matter. A monthly donation is going to help tremendously. Now we know how much we can spend every month. Because not only are we going to be able to spend on polling, as I just mentioned, on press, which I mentioned, but also, how about social media? How am I going to get on all those cool podcasts again? And I will. I'll get back on Joe Rogan. I'll get back on Glenn Beck. I'll get back on all that. Of course I will. Absolutely. But man, will it take time and money, people to notice me. I got to be noticed. Sadly, that takes money, but something else. It takes cool policies. And I talked about one. I talked about that idea of the coin, right, to pay for education. You know what our next biggest piece is? Our next biggest piece? Medicaid, Medicare. Medicaid, Medicare. Fraud is huge, and then paying for it's also huge. Both of those things. First one, fraud. How in the world are we going to stop all these people who are using ambulance services and stuff like that and going to emergency rooms for nothing? I have an idea. Right now, it costs you $1 to go to a doctor, $3 for emergency room. What if we change that by 3, by 12? $12, $36. $12 go to a doctor. Larry, some people can't afford $12 to go to a doctor. That's not true. You can. No, you can. The only person who can't afford $12 to go see the doctor is somebody who doesn't have an address. And if you're homeless, you're taken care of anyway. So that's not an issue, right? That's not an issue. But $12. Not just that, $36 to go to emergency room. So now you're not taking ambulances all the time. Imagine an ambulance now doesn't cost you $3, cost you 36. That's more expensive than Uber, which means our EMT services won't be taxis anymore. And if you work in that world, you know that's true. That goes away. Fraud goes away, bringing the cost down. But something better. Could you imagine if New York State did what other countries do? Norway, Singapore, other countries do. How do they pay for all those cool socialistic experiments? How do they do that? Right? Oh my God, how do they get all this good stuff? They have capitalism. They have sovereign funds. Some of you may or may not know this, but Norway literally has a fund that has $1 trillion in it. Yes, I said it, $1 trillion in that fund. That fund invests and makes all kind of money out in the market. Capitalism. And with that capitalism, it pays for their socialistic nation. Not a bad deal. I like that deal. Let's do that. Why isn't New York doing that? Could you imagine if New York did that? By, say, 2 or 3 different ways. Again, my policy team will come up with the details, but the concept of this about, give or take 4 million acres or so of New York state land. Can't we lease that out somehow? Rent that out somehow to start building up a fund? And then maybe even, why don't we start to build nuclear power in New York State? All the power we build in New York State, that also goes into a fund, anything extra. That fund starts to pop up all of a sudden. Now that fund comes up, and we can start, right? We can even start. If people see it happening, we can even borrow to get the fund going if people see what we're doing. And then that fund pays for our Medicaid, Medicare, which is crushing all of our counties. Our counties in New York State dropping off tons of money local at the counties, paying for Medicaid, Medicare, and education. I just gave us ways to pay for both. You take away both of those, our budget goes from about $210 billion down to give or take $90 billion. $90 billion from 212. You do that, guess what else we can do? End the state income tax. State income tax is only about 50 to 40, 50 to $60 billion every year. Well, once we've cut that amount of our budget, we don't need it anymore. We can phase it out. Within 4 years, it is possible, if we think the right way with actual plans, to end the state income tax within 4 years, to cut property tax by about 100 within 4 years, to revitalize our schools within 4 years. What? Yes, it can be done. And I would ask you, what other politician, what other candidate has any way, shape, or form come up with a plan or idea for this? None of them do. They don't understand it. They won't even imagine it. They can't do it. We can. Within 4 years, that can be done. And let's say I'm wrong and it takes 6 years. So what? I'll take it. 6 years better than nothing. I'll take 6 years. That's fine. I want 4. I will shoot for 4. But if you actually saw it happening, your head would explode. You'd be so happy. Of course you would. We can do this. I know we can. So you know what? Do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Do the state a favor. LarrySharpe.com/donate. If you've got some big dollars, throw it now. Now's the time. For the past 3 years, I lightly ask you to throw me a couple bucks here or there. That's what I do. And some of you do, some of you don't. It's fine. I didn't care. It's fine. I wanted you to. Helps. Now's the time. Larry, can I help? Yes, now's the time. Larry, what can I do? Now. Do this right now. Now. Don't ask what you can do. I'm telling you now what to do right now. LarrySharpe.com/donate. If you happen to be in a good spot, throw a bunch of money. And here's why you want to throw a bunch of money at me. Here's why. Larry, why would I want to spend $1,000 on you when I can spend that on an iPhone? That's a great question. That's a smart question to ask. You can buy an iPhone if you want to. Please. I think iPhones are great if you want to. I have an Android, but if you like an iPhone, buy one. Good for you. But if you put it to me, if you do, you'll be making everything better for the future. You know that. You've seen it. You've heard me. It's an investment in the future. How many times have you spent your time or money on a candidate and then they just go away? I know. Happens all the time. Hasn't happened here, has it? Hasn't happened here, has it? Haven't you seen me not just support myself, but support others? Haven't you seen me support a lot of other people with whatever I get, I give to others? So yeah, if I win, oh my God. Think about what will happen in this entire state, entire country. I don't win. I do really well. I do super well. You know what happens? I become more popular, more people hear me, and now I can support others. You've watched me since 2018. In the last 3 years, go out of my way to support other candidates, getting them to move forward, getting people to move forward, pushing people forward to the best of my ability. You watch me. Imagine what happens after 2022. Imagine the impact. Imagine what we can do in 2024. Imagine what happens then. Imagine what impact we can make if I'm the governor in 2024. How much impact we can make with our presidential candidate, if not actually win, or at least win some states, maybe even win New York State. Imagine the Libertarian candidate wins New York State. Changes everything. Changes everything. But more importantly, it breaks the status quo. It breaks the status quo. And we have to break the status quo. We just have to. It's not good enough that we keep just going left and right and left and right and nothing's changing. Yes, I'm giving you ideas to actually move forward. And here's the best part of it all. You hear them right now. Some Democrats running, some Republicans running. What do they say? Well, we got to make people feel good and support people. Great. How? The other guy's bad. Yeah, I know the guy's bad. But what are you going to do? I don't know, but the other guy's bad and we're going to support people. How? Well, if I'm a Republican, I say invest. If I'm a Democrat, I say fund. But that's all I do. That's all I do. I don't give any answers. At least if I'm giving you the actual plan, they got to talk about a plan. They got to try to move forward. They have to try to move forward. That's the most important piece. We have to do that. It is critically important. I'm going to go even further. Think about how many local politicians that you know who actually want to do well, but can't, because the system's broken and they don't care. And then now they can't make anything move forward because the people above them don't care. What happens when now I'm running and they see that I actually care? And they'll actually start to go, you know what? That guy's right. That guy actually cares. I decided to run because I wanted to actually fix something, and this guy's open to fixing something. Then they come. But I got something else. You might say, well, Larry, that's great running a Republican primary. Sounds good. I like the idea. Maybe you win the Republican primary. It's awesome. But New York State, it's 3-1 Democrat to Republican. What do you do about that? That is a great question. Again, you guys are super smart to even ask that question. Absolutely true. That is a very tough spot to be in. Well, if you're a regular Republican, whatever that Republican might be, whoever that Republican might be, you just lose. That's what you do. You just lose. There is no answer. You just lose. Republicans just lose. That's what they do. But if you're Larry Sharpe, number one, you're not only a Republican, you're also a libertarian. A libertarian who in 2018 had lots of Democrats already vote for him. So he has Democrats who've already made that check mark on that box in the past. So we have a record of having Democrats vote for him. That's number one. But number two, how about some Democratic policies to make Democrats happy? Well, yeah, we have them. You know what a lot of Democrats want, particularly the socialists? You know what they want? They want worker co-ops. They want worker co-ops. That's awesome. What Democrats talking about that? None. So they have no one. But you know who will talk about worker co-ops? I will. For those of you who don't know, worker co-ops are a business model when the workers own the business, right? So all the means of production is owned by the workers. And a lot of Democrats love that idea, particularly the far left. They love that stuff. Okay, I got a plan for that. Voluntary. Yeah, voluntary. Number one, let's make it a whole lot easier for local people to create local credit unions. Number one, that's co-op banking. So now local people want to get their money together to create an actual co-op bank or to actually have a local credit union. Make it easier for people to do that if they want to. Number one, but I'm not done. Once you do that, now create something else. The average person, when they get laid off or when they get fired, they collect unemployment. They get about $13,000, give or take, over the course of about 6 months, depending upon whether we get an extra Biden bucks or Trump bucks or whatever else we're getting. But just generally speaking, right? Just generally speaking, right? They get about that. What if you were to say, hey, people who just got laid off or quit, can you find 20 people in the same county who all got laid off? You can. Awesome. I tell you what I do. If you can find a credit union, we'll take we'll take a chunk of money. We'll give you all of your money that I'd be giving you anyway, that the state's paying you anyway. I'll give it to you all up front. Then I'll also allow any credit union be back a loan backed by the state for the same amount, a double amount. So you'll get about $500,000. Start a co-op. Start a co-op. You have that, banks get involved too. You'll get a line of credit from a bank easily. Now you wind up having $500,000 in cash, another $250,000 in credit, start a business. Do that. It's voluntary. Democrats get what they want voluntarily. I get what I want, which is localization. As long as it's within a county, it's all good. Do it. We'll support you. We'll support local, county, personally, individual owned businesses. How awesome is that? We can revitalize the counties. And some of you who also mentioned before, if you remember, I talked about the idea that if you wanted to, the tax dollars you got to spend to the state, if you want to, up to you, your opinion, your voluntary, you voluntarily can if you want to, take that $500 and instead put it in your county to a nonprofit. Well, maybe we add something. Maybe we say $500 to a nonprofit, the $250 to a county-run co-op, meaning locally run co-op. Imagine that. So now if you wanted to support local businesses because you care, you don't have to give your money to Walmart. You don't have to give money to the state. You could instead take $250 and give it to your local co-op to support them. Now local people can start owning their own businesses locally again. Oh my God, you don't have to work at Dollar General. You don't have to work at the only university or the only prison that's in your city or it's in your town. Not that I care if you work for please go ahead. I just want more options for you. I would like people in New York to have more options. Could you imagine if all those kids coming out of high school, coming out of college go, why don't I start a local co-op? All those kids who are so hungry to do something, to change the world. And I'm going to say, you don't have to leave. You can stay in your own county if you want to. You got all your kids graduating from high school and college. Get 20 together and start a co-op voluntarily. Just do it. Please. We'd love to support you. Imagine how we could revitalize counties. We can do all that under 4 years. Revitalizing all that under 4 years. Imagine. You like what I'm saying? You think it can be done? You believe that me even talking about this, discussing these ideas matters, is important? LarrySharpe.com/donate. That's what I'm telling you to do. Throw me some cash now. You bet. When? Now, right now, at this moment, right now. Click, do that right now. If you can do a big amount, do it. If you can't, no worries. Okay. Do $100 a month, $50 a month. I need you for 1 year. This is only 1 year. It's till November next year. So I need you for 1 year, right? First week of November of next year, it's over. 1 year support. Throw me support for 1 year so I can do this. I can't work when I'm doing this. You guys remember me? I did over 300 events last time I ran. Over 300. You saw me in every single county in this state, and I'll do it again. You know I will. You see me do it every year for the past 4 years. I'll do it again. It's time that we make this happen. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Click that link. Throw me what you can throw me. I need 1 year of your support. You got to commit to me for a year. I'm going to commit to you for a year. So you got to commit to me for a year. Right? I'm committing to you. You got to commit to me. We see this happens, then we'll do it. If we see this happen, we'll do it. We absolutely can do this. We should do this. We can revitalize our schools. We can revitalize our communities. We can revitalize our economy. Yes, our economy. Here's what I want you to think about here, right? Here's what I want you to think about here. Right now in New York State, how are we going to get our economy going again? It's been devastated by these horrible knockdowns. Devastated by them. You know that. You watch it. Every place around here is getting shut down. How the heck do we revitalize this? I have an idea. How about we change our licensing to credentialing? Yeah. What does that mean? That means if you want to get a credential to do something, you can go to the state, get your credential. No worries. But if you don't, you just want to do it locally without having to spend $20,000 to braid hair or X $100,000 to get a cannabis license or whatever else you want to do, you can just do it, but you'll be uncredentialed. And you must openly tell people, I'm not credentialed by the state. If you don't trust me, please don't come into my shop because I'm not credentialed by the state. But if you don't care, come buy my stuff. Up to you. You choose. You want to buy my stuff? You trust me? Come buy it. You don't? No worries. I'm not credentialed. Someone else will be credentialed and you'll decide. And one of three things will happen. One, we'll get better credentialing. That'd be nice. Other people are credentialed. That'd be nice. Or two, credentials become useless and people won't get credentials. Or three, people will make honest choices and some people have credentials and some people won't. Just have liability insurance like everybody else is supposed to have. That's it. We can make this work, getting people back into action. But I got to do something else. All of these state agencies that we have, DEC, all these state agencies, so many of them, their mandates have to be changed. Their mandates right now are just to say no, to stop everything. Just no, no, no. So nothing gets built in this state anymore. So we have so much trouble. The mandate must be changed. The mandate must be to move forward, to grow, to build safely. But you got to build and you got to grow. You have to. If we don't grow and we don't build, we're failing. Period. Right now in New York State, everyone's job is to say no and no one's job is to say yes. And I'm going to make everyone's job to say yes. The question is how. Let's do this safely. Move forward safely. Let's move forward, though. Let's not go, I'm scared, nothing. Come back in a month. No. Why isn't this moving forward? We must move forward. We must move forward. The state is dying. We must move forward on nuclear power. We must move forward on cannabis. Cannabis regulation is going to change completely when I'm governor. Yeah, we're going to onions. Yes, we are. We are going to onions. I said it, and I'll say it again. The cannabis regulations when I'm governor, changing. I go back to what I said before. If you like your dealer, you keep your dealer. That's what I said, and that's what I meant, and we keep that. And if you are someone, literally of the hundreds of thousands of people in this state, maybe millions, but I'm sure hundreds of thousands, particularly elderly people who are in chronic pain, and you don't have that much money, and you can't afford to have your son or your daughter go out and buy weed and hope they don't get caught, whatever, or you don't want to get on opioids, grow your medicine in your backyard. I'm good. I don't care how many plants you have. I don't care. I don't care how many onions you have. So why would I care how many cannabis plants you have? Grow your medicine in your backyard. I don't mind. Do it. I want you to be happy. I know that sounds cheesy, and many of you tease me when I talk about happiness. I talk about happiness a lot. I know I do. But why in the world would I speak about happiness so much? Because nobody else does. That's why. You know what I heard our governor say the other day? My job, number one, is to keep New Yorkers safe. That's my job. That's not her job. She made that up, and I don't care. No one asked her for that. You know what my job to be? I want my job to make you happy. That's what I want. Well, I can't make you happy. It's impossible. So what can I do? To create an environment where you can have the best chance of finding and pursuing happiness. How is that my job? I'll tell you that's my job. Our divorce papers from the UK, our Declaration of Independence said life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That's where I got that from. The pursuit of happiness thing is actually written down someplace. The crap she made about keeping every New Yorker safe from everybody, that's her making stuff up. That's not written anywhere. What I'm talking about is actually written down in our founding documents. Our founding documents before the Constitution, before the Articles of Confederation. The founding documents said life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I'm all about that. Because happy New Yorkers don't leave New York. Happy New Yorkers start businesses. Happy New Yorkers raise their families in New York. Happy New Yorkers retire in New York. I would like New Yorkers to retire in New York. I'd like them to start business in New York. I'd like them to stay and have careers in New York. I'd like them to raise their families in New York. I would love that. But right now, our state is so oppressive, it literally breaks up families. Think about this. If you're a New Yorker, are you telling me you don't know someone who you care about, family or friend, who's left? Yeah, you do. Everybody does. Have you told me? Have you thought to yourself, I should leave New York? Yeah, you have, because we all have. New York State is a wonderful, amazing state. Everything you can imagine that's good in this is in this state. Whether you want beaches or mountains or hunting or the biggest city in the country or Broadway or comedy shows, whatever is your thing, it doesn't matter what your thing is, right? If you like something, New York State's got it. So why are we leaving? With an amazing state? Because our government sucks. Our government's oppressive and bad. That's the reason. Fix our government and New York State becomes magical. I'm not making that up. If you live here, you know that's true. Fix our state, and all of a sudden, we become magical. Imagine revitalized counties with locally owned businesses. Imagine revitalized counties with our property tax cut in half. Imagine no state income tax, new businesses coming in with no state income tax. Imagine that, revitalizing everything. Imagine people able to start new businesses in whether it's in cannabis or anything else, because licensing becomes credentialing. Imagine if we allow blockchain back in and Bitcoin back in. Take that idea I brought up earlier, nuclear power. Stop building 3 nuclear power plants in North Country. Now, that's not a short period of time. That's going to take some time. That's several years to get that done. I know it is. But if we just saw it happening, people saw it, us breaking ground to actually start building this. Now, the feds will get mad and sue me, but I don't care about that. You know I don't care about that. They'll sue, but we'll still build anyway. Imagine we could do that. Imagine the jobs that come to North Country, desperately needed in upstate New York. Imagine that. 3 nuclear power plants. But more importantly, Imagine all the energy we could export. New York State could stop buying energy from Canada and Pennsylvania and those other places that we buy energy from and spend more money on it, and instead export it and sell it. And all that extra cash from selling that energy goes into our fund that pays for our Medicaid, Medicare, lowering our budget, creating that fund like Norway has, like Singapore has, like other countries have sovereign funds. Saudi Arabia has one too. A ton of these countries have sovereign funds. We create one. Less taxes, better service. I know, sounds crazy. Less taxes, better service. Yeah, I said it. That's what I've been talking about. But it's the best part. If we had nuclear power, all in North Country, without question, become a mecca for blockchain mining. Cheap, green energy for blockchain. All of a sudden, blockchain is green. It'll be everywhere. Imagine all those high-tech jobs coming to that area. Wow, what a renaissance we'd have. What a renaissance in upstate New York we could have with changing our cannabis rules to create craft grows, to help our small farmers. Imagine that. Imagine the licensing rules changing. Imagine local county co-ops in all of our counties upstate. Imagine that being supported by local credit unions, county credit unions. Imagine that. All the people are so mad about New York City or Albany running everything. What if it didn't? What if you had much more power locally? You could actually fix your own roads if you wanted to, or not, whatever you think is appropriate. You'd have more power within your own area. Imagine schools where the money follows the kid. And you'd have more power and control over your own school district. What a different state we'd have. Does this sound like it makes sense to you? Do you want me to keep saying it? I do too. Do you want me to actually win? Yeah, me too. Then help me out. LarrySharp.com/donate. Do that now. Some of you are wondering, what can I do? Now. Yes, now. Do it now. Absolutely. Get on out there. If you got the big dollars, give the big dollars if you got it. If you don't, no worries. Give what you can give without question. You might say, well, Larry, I don't live in New York State. Should I give you money? Yes, you should. Without question, you should. Even if you live in New York, I don't care if you live in New York State, you should. Why? Because what I'm saying is going to affect the entire country. How do I know that? That's what happened last time. And I was nowhere near as popular as I am now. Remember that? If you're in a liberty movement, whether you consider yourself libertarian or not, but if you're in the movement, do you remember how it felt in 2018? Do you remember the unity that we had in 2018? Have you seen that fall apart since then? I have. Have you watched us fight each other and fall down, get mad at each other? Wouldn't it be nice if we had another unifying force? This campaign can do that. You remember, over half of you who worked at my campaign weren't in New York State. And over half the money that came in the campaign didn't come from New York State. It came from outside of our state. And that's okay. As long as you're an American citizen, you can donate. Please do so. So if you're a resident, actually, you can donate. I think that's right. Yes. But if you're a foreign national, you can't, obviously. But if you're not, you can donate. So please do that. It changes how things work. It makes us as a movement better. You might say, but Larry, I love you, but I'm not a libertarian. I'm a Democrat. Okay, great. I'm glad you're a Democrat. Wouldn't you like Democrats to actually care more about civil liberties? I would. I would love that. I would like them to care more about civil liberties. I would. So how about guys like me talk about civil liberties? You'll have to move the Democratic Party towards civil liberties. Wouldn't you like that? If you don't like that, why are you watching? Clearly, you would rather your Democrats to be more about civil liberties. I will pull them there. That's what I do. Well, Larry, I'm more of a hardcore socialist, and I would like more socialist stuff. Guess what? I'm okay with that too, but voluntarily. I'm happy to assist you guys without question in you localizing voluntarily, being as socialist as you want to be. As long as you do it, government's not forcing it, no one's paying taxes, I'll support you to the maximum. Yes, I'll support you in your own schools, I'll support you in your own business. Yes, yes, and yes. You're not going to get that from Democrats. They're going to talk trash and then ignore you. You've seen it now with Biden. He's not helping you out. He ain't talking about co-ops or whatever. Nothing. Nothing. I'm talking about this. I even do that. Larry, I'm not Democrat. I'm a Republican. I'm not Libertarian. I'm Republican. Great, good. Wouldn't you like Republicans to actually have some answers, not just go Democrats bad? Wouldn't that be nice? I got answers for you. I'll get Republicans that actually care about answers. And something else. Aren't Republicans supposed to be about lowering taxes? Small businesses? They're supposed to be. Wouldn't you like them to be more that way? Yeah, I would like that. And I'll help them be that way. So whether you're a Libertarian, a Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. You should be supporting this movement. This is the movement to make things better. No matter who you are, I'm sure you'd like better Republicans and better Democrats. Me too. This is the movement to support it. The more popular this is, the better. LarrySharpe.com/donate. Whatever you can give now. Now, if you can give now. Not just that. If you can support me for a year, I'm committing to you for a year if you commit to me for a year. That's how that works. That's how this is a year campaign. You commit to me, I'll commit to you. That's how it works. Easy day. It's a contract. So it's libertarians and contracts. Absolutely. Yes. It's important. When I put together policies, there are 4 things I care about in policies. And every policy I've ever come up with, the same way. 4 things I care about in policies every single time. Number 1, no new taxes or fees or fines. Number 1, I would like to reduce, but I'll accept 0, right? As long as there's nothing extra, I can look at that. That's a policy I can look at. That's number 1. No new taxes and fees or fines. None of that. Must be no new. And I don't mean neutral, so I give up here, so I get here. No, there must be no new anything. Number 1. Number 2, no force. No force, all voluntary, no force. We're changing the environment for people to do right and to do better. So, no new taxes and fees, no force. 3, when it comes to supporting people, I go out of my way to support the working poor and middle class. Everything we do moves mostly towards the working poor and middle class. The things I mentioned all help the working poor and middle class more than anything, right? All of that. The working poor and middle class. Why the working poor and middle class? Why not the super poor or the wealthy? The wealthy are fine. They don't need me. They're wealthy. They're fine. But who helps the super poor? The working poor and the middle class. Those are the people who actually spend the time helping the super poor. They're the ones who do it. So you wind up helping them anyway. And the government roles right now, the government plans right now, while they aren't great at all, they do generally keep people from dying who are very poor, which is mediocre, but it keeps them alive. So now the working poor and middle class can grow, and they will help others. They will help others, and you see it all the time. All the time. 4th part, whenever it comes to businesses and economics, I always focus on the entrepreneur class, the small business owner versus the corporate class. Why? Same reason. It's the entrepreneur. That's the one who helps everyone else. That's the one who's innovative. That's the one who's breaking down the Goliaths. That's the one who's making the impact in the local area. We want to focus on that. If you have a vibrant working poor, middle class, and entrepreneur class, you got a good society. You got a vibrant society making things happen in rock and roll. Every single time you see me come up with a policy, those 4 things are always true. That's how I work on. That's how I think. How does everybody else think who works? Well, government does 4 things well. Kills people, imprisons people, creates bureaucracy, and writes checks. That's what it does well. Those 4 things. I don't want any of those 4 things, but government does that well. So the bad guys did something. Bomb them, kill them, right? Fine, great. That's one thing. People did stuff I don't like. Put them in jail. Got it. Or create more regulations. Or write them a check. Done. That's government answer for everything. That's government answer for everything. That's never my answer. That's never my answer. My answer is those 4. Right? Those are my 4 that I try to do always. And imagine if I started doing that and people started seeing that in your state. They might change how they act. We could literally change what government does and what it is. We could change what government does and what it is. We could actually do that. and we could localize it to the best of our ability. It can be done. If you think it can be done, then help me out. LarrySharp.com/donate. Now is the time to give. Remember, I talked about the money we need for press. That's true. If we buy ads, we'll get press. That's how it works, is pay to play. I wish it wasn't, but it's true. And I found that out last time. I'm looking for it now. Number 2, polling. You want me in polls? I want to be in polls too. How to do that? We got to buy them. We got to buy the polls. $50,000 to buy a poll. I'm not joking. That's what it costs. You want to get one of them Gallup polls, one of those Siena polls. You got to buy it. 50 grand. That's what it costs. Got to write checks. That's what it costs. Got to donate. The primary. What happens if I win the Republican primary? I'll be on 3 lines at least, if not 4 or 5 lines. Literally listed on the ballot 3, 4, or 5 times. What will that say against either Hochul if she runs or Letitia James if she's the nominee? Oh my God, what will that say? I'm listed 3 or 4 times. They're listed twice. We can have victory here. There's a chance of actually winning. While a lot of Democrats in this state would never vote for me in the Republican line, that's true. Many would not. And you know Democrats as well as I do. Many of them would not. They would not vote on the Republican line. But would they vote for me in the independent line? Yeah. Would they vote for me in the libertarian line? They already did in 2018. So yeah. So they will do that. They will check it on those other lines. They will. They will check it in the lines. And for those who don't know how it works is you add up all the votes on all the lines. Whoever gets the most, that's the winner. This is a winnable race if we raise enough cash. If we raise cash early, I can do something else, which is do the actual ads here on social media that will get me around all the shadow banning I get, which means people on social media will see me and all of a sudden I start getting all the cool social media shows. So we get social media, we get regular press, we get polls, and then we win a primary. And from that, the world begins to end for the bad guys. And all of a sudden now the world goes, oh my God. Larry, has this been done before? It has. And what's the example of this? Bernie, believe it or not, I know I'm talking about Bernie. Bernie's not a Democrat. He's independent. But he runs Democratic primary. He's independent. He's not a Democrat. That's a fact. So he runs Democratic primary as an independent. So I'd run a Republican primary as a libertarian. I'm a registered libertarian. I will be a libertarian. I'll be in a libertarian line. That's not going to change. That's who I am. I'm not lying. People know who I am. I wear my libertarianism on my sleeve. My God, if you don't know who I am, sad. But you might say, Larry, do people still remember you? It's a great question too. Great question too. Absolutely. Great question too. I was at the state fair about 2 months ago. 2 months ago, a month ago. About 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. At a state fair, the amount of people, some of you were there with me, you saw me. People walked by, recognized me, shouted my name, remembered me, blah, blah, blah. I'm crossing the street. State trooper recognizes me. State trooper recognizes. Oh, wait a minute, you ran for governor. Yep, state trooper recognizes me. I'm still recognized across this state. People still know who I am. I have more name recognition than any of the Republicans running right now. Yeah, more than any of them. You don't even know who they are. Of course you don't. Why would you? Right? Of course you don't. Why would you? Absolutely. It is important. There's a chance of actual victory. We are at a point where we're at a point now that is almost like we were at the point at the end of the last campaign. It's almost like we're rebooting the campaign from a much better place. Much better name recognition, much better people who know me. The team. Some of you guys have still been with me. You know, you guys have been with me. You've been with me the entire time. You've just gotten better, smarter at everything. This absolutely is an amazing chance for us to make real impact. And here's the best part. I'll be in debates. Yeah, I'll be in debates. And the funny part is, of any libertarian out there, how many libertarians have actually been on the debate stage with seasoned politicians? You could probably name them on one hand. I'm one of them, right? I've already done this. I can do it again. We'll do it again. If we get in debate stage Oh my God. You know this. I know this. Absolutely. It will be crazy what will happen. It will change everything. Or they just will run away from me, which still works. But at one point, it won't make it. They're going to have to, right? I really think about what will happen if we get in debates. And now we can. Now we will. Because here's the thing about debates. Debates are all about popularity. Be popular, get in debates. How to become popular? Polling costs money. Press costs money. Social media costs money. Winning a primary costs money. LarrySharp.com/donate. If you care, now is the time. Now is the time. If you can afford to absolutely throw me 4 figures right now, do it. You can throw me $1,000. Throw me $1,000 if you got it. You don't have it. No worries. Can you do 500? Do that. Can't do that? 250. Can't do that $100. Whatever you can do in your world right now, whatever. I don't want to break your bank. That's not what I'm about. I want you to pay your bills. Do I want you to give when it hurts a little? Yes, because I'm about to hurt. That's why. For those of you who saw me last time, you watched me last time. I literally lost weight. That is how much I punished myself. Yes. When I started that campaign, I weighed under 200 pounds, maybe 195, 190, something in that area, 197, 190, in that area. When I was done, I weighed 180. I literally lost about 20 pounds. I was gaunt. It beat me up. I was surviving on protein and caffeine every day. Some of you watched me. Yes. So, yes, it hurt. And I wasn't working. So, yes, that hurt financially a lot. And wife was not happy about that. Many of you guys were like, why don't you run again in 2020? Because I'm broke. That's why. Because I didn't work for a year and a half. That will be the reason why. So am I asking you not pay your bills? I'm not. Am I asking you to stretch? Yes, I am. Am I asking you to hurt a little bit? I am. Because I'm going to hurt. That's why. If I'm going to hurt, I can ask you to hurt. Right? I'm going to hurt. I'm asking you to hurt. That's just fair. Right? I always got to push myself first before I push you. Some of you teased me saying I got in a I did, but some of you saw me. I didn't look good. 180 is not good on me. Like 190, 185 is good on me. 180, I was looking like I was in trouble. So, because I was in trouble. So, well, something you didn't realize. I'll tell you a little quick story. When I was done with the campaign, I was up to 9 cups of coffee a day. Some of you know the story. It's true. Some of you watched me drink 9 cups of coffee a day. And I thought, oh, I'll just end it, right? The campaign's over. I'll just stop. I'll just go to nothing. It didn't work. I literally couldn't function. I couldn't function. I had to go up to 6 cups of coffee a day and then wean myself down to 3. Now I'm down to about 3 now a day. So way, way better, way better. But even that happened. So yes, I'm asking a lot of you. I know I'm asking a lot of me too. So yes, I'm asking you to do what you can to make it hurt a little. I'm going to hurt a little. We're all going to hurt together. But the point is, are we going to make actual impact? Are we going to change not just the state, which I hope we will, but also the nation? If you care about the nation, I do. If you care about your state, I do. Then support me so that I can make this thing work, so I can make this happen. LarrySharp.com/donate. Whatever you can give, give. Now, click that link, give what you can, whatever it is. If you've got big dollars and you're saying, Larry, I could do $1,000 to my new iPhone or to you, give it to me. That's what I'm telling you. The iPhone's nice. Wait a year for your phone. Support me for this year and buy your phone next year. That's what I can tell you. When I was running, I did the same thing. Year and a half, I had to postpone a lot of stuff for a year and a half. Again, some of you saw me. I had to postpone a whole lot of stuff for a year and a half. So I'm asking you to postpone your new iPhone for a year. That's what I'm saying. Give me a year. I'm going to give you a year. Give me a year. Postpone your cool stuff for a year. That's what I'm saying. That's important. Can we fix this? We can. Can we make stuff better? We can. Absolutely. Costs money. LarrySharp.com/donate. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for today, for watching as long as you did, for caring as much as you did. Let me grab a couple of comments. You guys give me a lot of comments. We'll grab a couple of comments before I wrap this up, just so I will grab a couple of comments if I can. Keith says regulate like onions. Yes, absolutely. Keith, you and I do an event together coming up here in about a month, so I appreciate that. Yes, I do think we want to do it like onions. I 100%. I'll do cucumbers though. That's fine. I don't mind. The point is, we do want to make it so that people can help themselves out. Yes. John says lower the number and cost of claims. John, that was my entire point. We can do that. Let me go one step further, John. You brought this up. Once you create some type of fund that helps pay for Medicaid and Medicare, you can now do something very interesting. And what that is, the people who are Medicaid and Medicare, actuaries know about how much money they're going to spend every year. They know about what box they fit in, about how much money they're going to spend. Give that person an actual debit card. Say, hey, John, we know that because of your age and your issues and whatever, we know you fit in this box, actuarial box, which means you're going to spend, I'm making this number up for sake of argument, $4,000 a year. Here's $4,000 on a debit card. You can spend it at any doctor, medical facility you like. You just go. Well, Larry, what if I run out? You're still on Medicaid or Medicare, whichever one you're on. You're still on that, so you can still go back to it if you have to. But you have this ability. Just swipe that card. So now you can go to all the cool doctors who don't take insurance. Now you can start supporting companies like Forward. Forward is a company that you spend $150 a month and you can go whenever you want. Yeah, it's medicine that's like a gym membership. Their goal is to keep you healthy so you don't have to show up. Isn't that nice? Right now you go to any place that takes insurance and the goal is for you to be sick because that's how to get paid. So you're always going to end with either procedure or a test or prescription because that's how they get paid. You need to be sick, John, or they don't get their money. But if all of a sudden you're swiping that card, well, you just swipe the card to get paid right then and there. They get it. And they're going to say, wait a minute, I can get this kind of money without all the paperwork? Why would I want that? Because I believe in my heart, John, that if many people got that, people would go to better doctors. When they go to better doctors, they care more about their health. They think more about their health. They'd be more choosy on where they're going with their health. And other doctors would say, wait a minute, I can get all the Medicaid, Medicare money without all of the admin cost. I will now try to get those people to come to me. A place like Forward will create new forwards like that. What will that do? It will lower the cost of claims and lower the numbers by default. It will just do it. It'll also get people, of course, John, if you use it $4,000 and you don't use it all, well, it rolls over for next year. I'm getting people to begin to understand what a healthcare plan actually could be, what a healthcare savings fund could actually be. I'm changing the environment for people to think differently about healthcare. That's a 4 to 8 year plan. I know it is, but we got to start somewhere. The current system's failing. And the only answer people hear is Medicaid for all. That's all people hear. Medicare for all. That's all we hear. I have an actual idea that might work better. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yes, I do appreciate that. 100%. Excuse me. All right. Someone said they're voting for me. Thank you so much, Facebook user. I like that. Yes. So, all right. I heard a song on the radio titled Happiness Thought of You. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Very nice. My son is gone. Yes, I'm thinking about it. Yes. People leave our state constantly. People keep leaving our state all the time. Yes. Tom says, first time donating ever gave what I could. Tom, thank you. Whatever you can give is awesome. I appreciate it. Guys, if you can't give that much now, do $5, $10 a month, $25 a month, whatever you could do. Whatever you could possibly do. It's all going to help. The little bit keeps happening. Absolutely. Yes. Benjamin says, my cousin Doug worked in nuclear for years. He's not glowing green. Well, the nuclear I talk about is, of course, Gen 4 nuclear, which is a very different type of nuclear power plant. It's very different. It physically cannot melt down, and it's clean. It actually uses nuclear waste as nuclear power. I'm not joking. If you care, you can go to check it out, Gen 4 nuclear power. It's the answer. We can start moving towards that. Just think about the jobs that are going to be done there, right? Doesn't mean you stop solar or stop whatever. Do whatever you like. I'm happy if you want to, but if you start doing nuclear, things begin to change. Things get better quickly. And now we can actually do what makes the most sense. Not just have government decide to push these things, which I see constantly. Yes. So Dan says the state using the free market to pay for social policy. Let's get this bread then. But Dan, that's the thing, right? Can socialism work? Yeah, if you add capitalism, then it's not really socialism. But still, you can if you add capitalism. All I'm saying is people are accustomed to these policies. I would like to have the market pay for them. And then let's see if we can find better ways to work on them. We can just end them, but if we just end them, people are going to fight and no, people are going to be hurt. I don't want people to suffer. I want to revitalize our communities so that communities can support each other better. What we learned from the COVID lockdowns, more than anything, we learned so many things, but more than anything is that so many communities have lost the institutional knowledge to support themselves. Whenever you add government, you remove community. Let's start putting community back so we can start removing government. Let's start adding community so we can remove government. People need help. They're going to need help. People fall down. People make mistakes. People get in trouble. That's just humans. We need help. Great. Let's set it up so the community can help. Gene says, Pennsylvania is happy to sell you energy to yes, that's correct. I would rather be selling energy than buying it. That's all I'm saying. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Yes, 100%. So, excuse me. Bonnie says, love all this except the nuclear power, but she didn't like that part. I'll be standing against that piece. I guess the 20% I don't agree with. That's okay. There we go. See, Bonnie? So that's the 80-20 rule. I appreciate that. I do appreciate you looking at it that way. Some people aren't going to like certain things. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. So, but Larry, if libertarians don't fight each other, who should we be fighting? I have an idea. The system. How about that, Joe? That's who I'm fighting. And look, I look at the liberty movement as like the old Mongol Empire, right? When you got one, big enemy, we're going to go fight the Eastern Europeans, or we're going to go fight, the Chinese or whoever, the Mongols all get together and go fight. But when there's no single enemy to fight, they just kind of break up into little khanates and fight each other. That's us. I'm saying, Joe, get behind my banner. Let's get all the Mongol bannermen together. Let's go back out in the steppe and fight. There's an enemy to fight. It's called the governor of New York. We could do that. That's what I'm saying. So I'm agreeing with you. It's tough. So let's do that instead. Yes. So Tom says, all I ask you is you pound on support for small businesses. I always do. That's my thing. Yes, I always do. 100%. As I mentioned, I focus on that constantly. Yes. Shelley says, New York tends to lead the nation. If you want Hochul running your state, then don't donate. If you want to have the nation following great ideas and enjoying your God-given rights, donate. I can't say that better, Shelley. I like that. You're hired. Well done. Yes, absolutely 100%. Look, how New York goes, you guys know the rest of the country goes eventually. We are the battleground, right? If we stop people in New York, it doesn't get anyplace else, right? But if we don't stop in New York, it comes to your state. So you say, well, that's okay, Larry. I'll move away. I'll move and I'll hang out with Joe in Florida. That's nice, but it's coming to Florida. It might be a couple of years. It's coming to Florida. It's coming everywhere. That's how it works. It's coming everywhere. So, yes. Charlie says, please change the name of the Mario Cuomo Bridge back to the Tappan Zee First Official Act. Actually, Charlie, I'm going to put the name up for lease. Auction. I don't care. If the Cuomo family wants to keep that bridge named Mario Cuomo, they can have it. Absolutely. I want, I don't know, $30 million a year. Whatever. We'll bid it. If they want to write New York State a check for $30 million a year, then keep it. Then keep it. That's what I'm saying. And if somebody wants 35, they got to go 36. That's all. So they can have the name. It's fine. Got to write me a check, though. You're going to write this state a check, you can keep the name, but not for free. Nuh-uh. Not for free. That's my point. Not for free. Yes. So that's good. I like that. All right. All right. Let's see if I can keep going here. Thank you, Jamie Sharp 2022. I'm trying my best. Yes, I'm trying my best to make something happen. It does matter. I do appreciate that. Yes. And NY Josh 30 says donate $25. First campaign I've ever donated to. Good luck. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Sam says Justin $100. More to come after the new job starts. Sam, you are the man. Thank you for all your support. You are like on all these things. You're paying it. I appreciate all the stuff you're doing. Absolutely. Yes. Time to break out those don't blame me, I voted for Larry Sharp shirts. It's not a bad idea. Look, let me walk down that road if I could. I'm asking for money now. I am. And I want you to please give what you can give. I'm not making that up. It's important you should. I'm going to give you a year. You got to give me a year so we can give each other a year. Absolutely. 1 year of support. If you can throw me $100 like Sam did, that's awesome. Please do that. If you got more, you can. If you've got it, give more. Yes, I'm going to give a year of my time, whatever that would be worth to you. Imagine you gave that, right? Whatever that is worth to you, whatever amount of money you make in a year, that's what I'm donating, right? So imagine that. If you can give $1,000 a month, give it if you got it. You don't have it, $100 is fine. I'm happy. But if you can do like $100 a month, $50 a month, if you can make it monthly, it is just so much easier for everybody to understand. It sets it up and we're good. But there's something else. Keith's kind of joking about the "Don't Blame Me" shirts, but no, wearing those shirts with my name on it, and many of you still have them, it's a good idea. Let people ask. Let people talk about it. Let people remember. I'm going to start wearing them too. We'll all start wearing the shirts. It does matter. Yes. Get out and see Larry on his full shop. Yes. Why do I do that, right? Why do I spend so much time out with the people? Because let's be realistic. If I win this thing, I'm going to need the people. The establishment's going to be against me. They're not going to like me being in charge. They're like, what? This guy's in charge. He's not going to be the king we want. He's not going to, be the grifter that we want. He's going to let us grift off everything. Of course not. If I don't have the people on my side pressuring the people in the assembly and the Senate, I'm going to fail. That's the reality of life. But if I have you behind me doing those things, putting pressure on those people, I'll succeed. So yeah, that's why I'm out there in Florida. That's why I cross the state every single year, because I have to have people. I mentioned this before, and I'm not joking here. If I remember right, the governor has 2 helicopters right now. I'm going to sell one. Sell one helicopter and make a bus. I'm serious. Deck out a bus so I can still travel the state even while I'm governor. And I can travel the state and run the governorship from other parts of the state. So I can still hang out with the people in every county. I can still do it. And I'll still do some form of show just like this. By the way, I took this idea, believe it or not, the mayor used to do this idea. I think it was Giuliani who started this. And then Bloomberg copied him and did it too. And both of them used to do a weekly show on WOR radio here in New York City. Every week, they'd go on for an hour and just talk to people, take phone calls, that kind of thing. I took the idea from them. I thought it was a good idea, so I started doing it. So I will still do it even as governor. You will still see me do that. I won't just go do press conferences and try to get an Emmy. I'll do this kind of thing so I can actually talk to you. So yes, I appreciate that. Yes. All right. I don't know any of the odds running right now. It's true. I know many of them we don't know, but whatever. Any of them aren't that good. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So yes. Is that Pippin Kid? I remember you, Larry. You made me really think about keto when you explained how it helped you while campaigning. $100. Thank you, my friend. I want to see you debate the establishment. I will be in the debates. That's for sure. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. Yes. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that, guys. Absolutely. So, going to finally meet Larry Sharp in person in Rensselaer County at the Alexis Diner on Sunday, October 10th. It's coming up here. Yes, absolutely. I will be in Rensselaer County in 2 weeks from now. Absolutely. I'm going to be grabbing all of those again in all 62 counties one more time. Yes, absolutely. John, is it Johnson says, I will definitely chip in. Love, Larry. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Charlie says 9 cups, Governor Pinball. It was a lot. Absolutely. Yes. No speeding tickets in the campaign trail this time. Yeah, Len, I know. The funny thing is during the end of the campaign, I didn't get any more because the troopers all knew who I was. I know it's completely bogus. It's totally messed up, but it's still true. The troopers knew who I was, so they wouldn't give us tickets. That happened at the end. But yeah, we got to run around. Yeah, we got to run around. Yes. Larry need a larger Don't Blame Me shirt. For those of you who do want to pick up some shirts, you can if you want to. I'm going to be bringing some around. Probably in a couple months or so, I'll be bringing some around. Next year for sure, I have a bunch more shirts. You can also go to Zazzle if you want to. Type in Larry Sharp. There are some shirts that if you want to buy some of those also. Yes, absolutely. So I appreciate that. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can grab this here. I like the gold color banner on the comment banner. Well, that is the right color, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So that's good. I do appreciate that. So that's good. All right. Can Canadians donate? No, sorry, Logan. Canadians cannot. Unless you happen to be a dual citizen, also an American, you cannot. Thank you. But you know what you can do, Logan? If you want to buy a Larry Sharp shirt, you can. You can buy a Larry Sharp shirt. That's always nice. And you can always like, comment, and share. That stuff always matters. That always helps all the time. Yes, it does. Laura says, I was wearing a Don't Blame Me, I voted for Larry Sharp t-shirt while hiking in Thatcher Park in Albany County. Both times he said they voted for you. Very nice. I appreciate that so much. Guys, thank you so much for the time you gave me this evening. Please, if this matters to you, if you want to make this happen, LarrySharp.com/donate. Give what you can give and share this so that others see it. If they're excited, they'll give too, and we can make this happen. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to be out for the next 4 days traveling the state. I will see you all next week.